there. Welcome. My name is Calliope, and I'm going to be taking a little look at your eyes today. Would you mind just confirming your name and date of birth? Okay, excellent. Good. And is that the name you prefer to go by, or do you have a nickname you like to go by better? Excellent. So, the very first thing that I want to show you, I have a little diagram here. Of the eye. And I just want to kind of show you what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for, get you a little more familiar with the anatomy of the eye. So why don't we go ahead and just take a little peek at what we've got going on in the diagram. So this is a diagram of a few different things. We have the eye, the eyeball here. We have your eye receptors right here. And we have what the back of the eye looks like right here. Let me just get this out of the way. So, these right here are very easy. These are your rods and cones. They are what allow you to see color, for example. And here we have quite a few things going on. So let's start right in here. We have the cornea right here, and this little empty space. This is our anterior chamber that has the aqueous humor in it. We have the pupil. We have the iris, which is the colored part of the eye there. This is our hyaloid canal, and all of this sort of jelly-like substance, this is your vitreous humor right in here. We have the sclera in here. We have the retina at the back of the eye in this yellow here. And this little area right here, this is the macula and the fovea. We have blood vessels coming from this area. This is the optic disc, and this is the optic nerve that transmits the information from your eye, your sensory information, and this is how it travels to your brain. And we have some little bits, like we have ligaments here, we have the ciliary body right in here, we have the choroid, which is this little red area behind the yellow of the retina. And if we take a look in from the eye, and we're looking at this area right here, that's where we would see this image. Now, we'll get a little bit more into this later. What you need to know now is just that this is called the fundus of the eye. This is the back of the eye. We can see the blood vessels here. We can see the optic disc. And I'll be able to take a look at that with my little ophthalmoscope here. So let's go ahead and move on to testing your visual acuity. We're going to do that with the Snellen chart. And then we're also going to make sure there's not any issues with your vision with the Amsler Grid. So here we have a chart of letters, of fractions, of numbers, and I am going to have you just look at these and tell me what you see. So let's just go with the easiest letter here. What do we have here? E, F, B. Okay, so can you see those easily? Okay, so I am actually going to have you just cover the one eye here, and then we'll keep going. C, O, D, good. L, B, D, yep. B, E, C, F, D, good. E, D, F, C, Z, B. Okay, and below this line here, D, Z, B, O, L. Good, and here, good, okay. O, D, F, C, T. All right, can you happen to read this last line? O, E, C, D, L, D. Very good. Now, there are some fractions on the side here. Can you just read these for me? 20 out of 200. 20 out of 140, 20 out of 100, 20, 70, 2010. Okay, there are some numbers here. Can you just tell me what numbers these are? 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, would you mind just uncovering this eye and covering the other instead? We could try that again. Okay. Now, can you just read me this line here? T, O, Z. Good. Here. D, good. D, F, C. B, C, C. F, D, E. Yep. F, E, L, O, P. C, E, T, O, F. Yes, P, F. There you go. E, D. And right here, L, E, F, O, D, F, C, D. And about forwards, F, D, L, D, C, E, O. Very good. And can we do the fractions backwards? 20 over 20, 20 over 25, 20 over 40, 20 over 50, 20 over 70. Very good. And this line of numbers backwards. 11, 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Go ahead and uncover this eye And let's just run real quick through this with both eyes. So we already got these guys up top. Let's just jump right here. B, C, C, F, D, E. Okay, how about right here? D, F, B, D. Okay, and right here? D, F, C, D. And last line here, F, D, L, D, C, E, O. Excellent. Now, let me take the eye chart down and we are going to put the Amsler Grid up so that we can check your vision for any sort of holes or distortions. On the wall, you're going to see a bunch of lines and a dot in the middle. If you cover one eye here, can you see that dot in the middle? Okay. Do any of the lines look wavy, blurry, distorted? Are any of them missing? Okay. And if you cover the other eye instead, anything missing? Wavy, blurry, distorted. Okay, and if you look at it with both eyes, anything there? It all looks normal. Okay, excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to our next test then. So we are going to start the color vision testing with a little book of different colored plates is what they're called. And I'm going to have you just cover one eye here. We're going to test one eye at a time. And you just tell me what number you see in the middle of this circle here. So can you see that there's a number here? Okay, and what number is that? 12, good. What colors do we have here? Okay, red and green, good. And we'll just continue on like that throughout the booklet. So, right here, what number is this? 8, and here? 6. What kind of colors do you see in these pictures? Brown, yellow, green, red, orange, good. And how about right here? What do we see in these pictures? Okay, 29, 57, good. And what about colors? Yeah, it's pretty similar to these. It's just these are much darker, right? Yep, we have the mixture of red and orange. We have this very dark brown green, the little bits of chartreuse. And how about in here? These might be a little trickier. 5, 3, good. And colors? Okay, that light green, orange, dark yellows. Good. Here? 15, 74. Similar colors as well? Okay, these have a little bit more of a blue tone to them, certainly. And what about right here? 2, 9. Similar colors? Yes. 97, 45, good. These? 5, 1673. And what about these? Good, that's right. These don't have any numbers in them. Can you tell me the colors that you see? Blues, greens, orange, red, kind of a brown. Yeah, it looks a little bit of a purple tone brown to me. And blues. Good. How about here? Okay, no numbers, no pictures, and browns, reds, greens, blues, oranges. Good. Now, how about here? Anything different here? Okay, 26, 42. And color-wise, reds, greens, and almost black. Yeah, and these little bits of brown. 35, 96. Good. Similar colors? Yes. And what numbers here? Good. Can you just trace the lines from the X's to the outside? Good. And colors similar to the others. Good. Here? Okay. Can you trace a line from X to X? No. There is no path. Good. How about here? Can we trace a line from X to X following the path? Very good. And these colors are slightly different. Yes, we have teals, reds, oranges, yellows, greens. Good. Here, can you go X to X from one side to the other? Good. Following that path. And how about here? Okay. And these are pretty clear for you as well. Good. How about here? Okay. And these are clear? Yep. All right, last one. Very good. Just right through here. And what two colors do we have here? Green, red. So I'm going to have you just cover the other eye, and we are going to do that again. And we can probably go a little quicker now. So what do we have here? 12. Okay. Colors? Green and red. Good. Here? 8, 6, 29, 57. Good. Let me know if any of these look different from how they did before, if you have any more difficulty at all. 5, 3, 15, 74. Good. What colors do we have? Red, orange, yellow, greens. Good. Here. 97, 45. Good. 5, 7. 16, 73. And how about here? Very good. Okay. What colors do we have? Orange, green, brown, blue, red. Okay. Here? Okay. Similar colors to before? Yep. colors here? Red. I have a weird green and a brown. Sure. Numbers here. Good, they're paths. Can you follow them from the X to the outside? Good. Here, can you follow the path? No, there is no path. Good. Can you follow the path? Good. What colors do we have? Blue, red, yellow, orange, green. Good. Follow the path. Good. Follow the path. Good. And again. Yep, they switched this one up. Good. And last plate here. Follow the path. What two colors do we have? Red and green. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to near vision. I have some cards here. Let's do this one first right here. So, can you see this okay? Okay. Is that a little bit better? Okay. Can you just tell me the letter in each box? W-A-S-Y-D. And can we go backwards on these next two? L-K-U-J-V-A-S-X-F-R. And forwards on the next two. G, okay. C-H-E-N-X. Okay. And backwards for these last two. M-A-D-B-C-F-D-R. Good. Going to be a little bit different here. So if you could just tell me what orientation the letter E is. So for example, I'll just give you this first one. That one is facing up. Which way are the tines facing? Okay. Up, right, down, left. Good. Up, down, left, right, down, left. And backwards for these two. Down, right, up, down, right, and up, left, down, right, down. Okay. Right, up, right, right, left, up, left, down, left, down. And backwards for these last two. Right, up, right, up, left, up, left, up, right, down. Very good. We are going to have some 3-letter or number sequences. If you could just tell me what letters or numbers you see in the card. Y-U-D, D-P-H, J-A-Y, B-L-F, D-X, 4, 5, 8, 9, 3, 5, 1, 7, 2, 9, 5, 7, 3, 7, 6. Good. Backwards here. H-A-K, J-O-Y, 2, 8, 6, 9, 4, 2, 2, 5, 6, 9, 2, 6, 5, 8, 3. Here. K-I-K, U-S-D, B-O-B, N-E-D, G-A-U, 7, 4, 6, 5, 2, 9, 2, 1, 6, 4, 0, 2. And backwards for these last ones. P-A-Y, W-A-N, R-O-S, N-B-C, Y-U-N, 711, 519, 817, 572, 693. Okay, last one. Last one here. There are either some words or some letters put together, and you can try to pronounce them as words if you want. It makes it a little more fun. Or there are sequences of numbers. If you could just tell me those. Green, super, flash, arrow, Vicky, 84732, 16945, 35819, 46823, 75138. You're pretty quick at this. Brief, read on, Yeezy, hands, Jackie, good. 6834 or 314, very good. 28537, 16479, good. 61549. Here. Nick, Yahoo, Twist, U2, Pink, Pinky, and here, 3618, 96532, 34816, 78562, 97988, good. And here, Yamni, Wolves, Fliny, Means, Brady, good. Here, 72361, 94527, 61838, 51794, 62581. Excellent. So let's go ahead and move on. I want to check for any central vision loss before we start looking at your peripheral fields. So, would you mind just looking at my nose? Okay, and I'm going to bring our occluda right over the eye. And is there any part of my face that is missing or distorted at all? Okay, good. And now just the other side. Keep looking at my nose here. Is there any part of my face that is missing or distorted? Excellent. Okay. So, I am going to have you just put your hand over this eye to start, and I'm going to mirror you. I'm going to bring my fingers into your vision. I want you to tell me when you see them and if they disappear at all. Alright? So cover that eye. I'll cover this eye. And we'll start from the diagonal. Okay, you see them. And do they disappear at all? Okay? And tell me when you see my fingers and if they disappear. Good. Okay, we'll just come in right here. Good. The other side. Good. Now I'm going to switch and we'll come in from this other side here. Tell me when they appear. Good. When they disappear. Okay. And when my fingers appear. Do they disappear? Yes. Good. Yes, very good. Okay. Now we're going to switch eyes. So I'll cover this side. You cover that side. We'll do that again. Tell me when my fingers appear and if they disappear. Good. Good. Coming in just down the diagonal. Good. And up. Good. Just tell me when they appeared. Good. 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 Very good. Okay. Go ahead and let your eyes relax for a moment. And then we are going to just real quick check if you can see my fingers in your periphery and if you can count the number of fingers that I have. So if you wouldn't mind just looking at my nose and tell me, do you see my fingers? And how many fingers am I holding up? 2. Okay, how about here? 3. Here. 1. Good. 4. 1. 2. 2. Okay, keep looking at my nose. 1. 2. 3. Good. 3. 4. 1. 2. 1. And now we're going to do both sides. I'll have you add the total together. So for example, 2, right? Okay. So just keep looking right here. 4. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 2. 3. 4. 8. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and test your blind spot. So I had showed you where the optic nerve is, the optic disc. Now your eye naturally has a blind spot because of that area where the optic nerve is. So everything else you can see, but just where that optic nerve is, there's going to be a little bit of an absence of vision. And your brain does its best and your eyes do their best to try to mask that absence so you don't usually notice it. Let's grab our gluta and I'm gonna have something bright here so it should be fairly easy to see. So I'm gonna have you look straight ahead here. I am going to block one of your eyes and just tell me when you see the object disappear and reappear. And it's supposed to disappear or reappear, but it can be a little tricky because remember, your eyes don't want you to know that. You don't have that bit of vision there. So just tell me when you see this disappear and reappear. It's kind of a weird sensation. Okay. Good. So I'm going to switch that to the other eye here. And just tell me if you see this disappear and reappear. For me, it's just almost like this little blip. Where it almost sort of buffers. Just tell me if you see that. Appear and reappear. Good. Okay. Now, while we have this little tool here, we are going to test for red desaturation, which might indicate an issue with the optic nerve. So we're going to start with one of these and then I'm going to bring out a second one. But I am going to cover up one of your eyes and then the other. You just tell me if this red looks the same in both eyes. So if I cover this eye, does the red look the same if I cover this eye? If I cover here, is it the same as covering here? I go back and forth. Is it just as bright? Is it dimmer? Okay, very good. And I'm going to have you look at these. So, do they both look the same brightness? Do both of these look the same? Okay. Do they look the same up here? So, they're both just as bright. One is not dimmer or brighter than the other. Okay, how about right here? Is that any different at all? Okay, very good. So, if you were to have an issue with red desaturation, I'd ask you how much dimmer the red looks, and that way we can keep an eye on it, see if that gets worse over time. Now, let's go ahead and look at the actual eye. We've done a lot of tests so far, but we haven't actually gotten into the eyes themselves. So, if you wouldn't mind just looking straight ahead for me, I'm going to get real close, okay? Alright. So, I showed you the parts of the eyeball. We showed the fundus of the eye, which we'll get a bit of a better look at the end of the exam. And you saw your little rods and cones, but there's a lot more to that anatomy, right? So, our important parts of the eye, we have our lacrimal glands, our little tear ducts. We have the eyelids and the water lines of the eyes. We have the eyelashes and the eyebrows, and we want to make sure that those are intact. For example, if you lose part of your eyebrows, then that could be an issue with your fifth cranial nerve, actually. We're making sure that looks correct. We looked at the iris, pupil, which will be the star of further examination. And I like to look at the orbit as well. Some people have really deep set eyes, some people have more bulging eyes, most people are kind of in between. But I'm just going to palpate around this orbital bone surrounding the eye. Let me know if there's any pain or tenderness. Around the eye. Okay, good. I'm just assessing the eyebrows. And then I'm going to pull down on your eyelids so I can look at the conjunctival tissue. If you wouldn't mind looking up for me. Just look up for me. Good. Keep looking up. Good. And can you look down? I'm going to pull the eyelids up. Just look down. Good. Down. Good. Okay. So that tissue is pink and moist, just like the little lacrimal glands as well. They're not red, not overly pale. That's good. So, I want to look at your eye's ability to open and close. This might indicate a sort of palsy, for example. So, if I could have you just open your eyes real wide, close them real tight. Open real wide. Close them real tight. Good. And can you just normally blink, blink, blink? We'll give that a few goes. I just want to see. I want to see the timing of your eyelids. Make sure they are symmetrical, that one isn't slower than the other. So if you could just blink, blink, Good. Now, I'm going to have you close your eyes real tight. I'm going to try to open them. I want you to resist me trying to open them. Okay? Close them real tight and just try to open them. Okay, and those are quite tight. So, let's go ahead and test our corneal reflex. Now, what I'm going to do, I have this little cotton bud and we're going to just going to pull out a little wisp of the cotton, and I think that's enough. And I'm going to touch your cornea, and what this should do is you should blink when this happens automatically. Shouldn't even occur without a thought. So I'm going to have you look straight ahead, and I'm going to very lightly touch the cornea. So this is very, very quick. Not the most pleasant thing, but not painful. Very quick. So if you could just look straight ahead. Just good. Okay, the other side. Excellent. Now there's another corneal test. This is the Hirschberg test. And I'm going to use a little light so that we can check your eye's alignment. I'm going to shine a light right in the middle of your eyes, and the light should be symmetrical in both eyes. If it's different, then we have an alignment issue. So, just go ahead and look straight ahead. And just hold still for a moment. Just want to check the alignment of your eyes. Good, that looks good. So, we're going to do some tests in the light of the room. but we're going to, more importantly, do them in the dark. So I want you to just look straight ahead, and I'm going to check your pupillary response. So if I have the light under your eyes like this, they shouldn't really change. I can just look at them. So if I could have you look at the eye chart, okay, and then look at my finger. Yeah, I can see them dilate and constrict like that. We'll test that in a moment as well. So go ahead and just look at my nose. Right, and bring this in. Good, and a diagonal. So we can look at the pupillary response. We want the pupils to be equal, round, reactive to the light. PERRL is our little acronym. Okay, just keep looking at my nose here. Good. Good. And then we'll do a few more tests, and then we'll do it all again, but in the dark room. Alright, keep looking straight ahead, right here. And now we're going to do the swinging light test, which would indicate an afferent defect in your eyes. So as I swing back and forth, they should dilate and constrict in relation to the light. If there's a defect, we might get a paradoxical response, where even though I shine the light into your eye, it actually dilates instead of constricts. Good. Okay. I am going to grab one of our word rock cards here. And I'm going to put this up between your eyes. Just like that. Okay? So that you can't see any light between your eyes. And we're going to do the direct consensual response test. So I'm going to look at this eye. And I'm just going to look at your eye constricting in response to the light, dilating, constricting, dilating. Even though this eye can't see that light, while your eye is constricting, so is this side, dilating, constricting, dilating. Direct, direct, consensual, consensual response. Direct, direct, direct response. Consensual, consensual, consensual. Just like that. And the last thing, I am going to have you look at the eye chart for me. Just look at that for a moment. And then I'm going to have you look at my finger. Good. And just follow this as it comes in. And follow it as it goes out. In. Out. In. Out. Good. Go ahead and look right here at the painting. Look at my finger. Follow it. In and out. We're looking at our accommodation reflex here. Good. Okay. So, let me go ahead and just get up. I'm going to start turning off the lights, and it's going to get real dark in here. All of you stay seated. We'll do those few tests again, but in the dark. Let me just grab my light again. And I'm just going to keep this right below your eyes so that I can watch their response without much light going actually into the eyes. So, there. Okay. I'm gonna have you look straight ahead as far as you can sense. We're gonna bring this light in. Good. In. And in. Good. Just keep looking straight ahead. Keep looking straight ahead. Good. Very good. Okay. So, I am going to grab our little card. Put it between your eyes. You'll just feel that right on your skin there. We're going to look at the direct, consensual, direct, consensual response. Good. Just flip that. Okay. Direct, consensual, good, direct, okay. Keep looking ahead and we'll do the swinging light test here, which will be much easier to see if we have that paradoxical eye dilation. Back and forth, and back and forth, back and forth in each eye. Okay, very good. Now, I am going to have you, as far as you know, look at the wall. I'm just going to look at your eyes dilating and constricting with the accommodation reflex. And can you look at my finger right here? Can you see that? Good. Can you look at the wall? And my finger here. Look at the wall. And my finger. Good. Now, go ahead and just look at this light. Okay, follow this out. And in, out, in, out. Other side, follow this. In, out, in. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some lights in here. we are going to do a little cover test. This is very easy. So, sometimes if you cover one eye, the other one might start to do something a little goofy. It might try to wander somewhere else where it's not supposed to. So, if I cover this eye, we're just going to watch this one and see. Does it try to move this way, up, down, any other way other than straight ahead? And it doesn't. On the other side, let's see if that guy wants to move anywhere they're not supposed to. And so far, you are doing just fine. Yeah, okay, good. Now, eye movement. I have seen your eyes move around quite a bit, but I just want to make sure that they can move in every direction of gaze. So, if I could have you look right here. How about right here? Here. And right here. Good. Here. Here. Right here. And right here. Good. Can you move your eyes right here, back and forth? Right here, back and forth. Here. And here. Can we go up and down? Check for lid lag here as well. Okay. And side to side. Okay, good. Follow my finger here. We are going to do our classic H test here, because this is one of our easier ways, most efficient, most simple ways to test the cardinal directions of gaze. If you could just keep following my finger. Good. Up, down, up, diagonally up, diagonally down, diagonally down, diagonally up. Okay, looks like your eyes can move all around. Now I want to check some speeds to a point. So, follow this finger right here. We're going to do smooth eye tracking, also known as pursuits. Just keep following this. I know it's a little slow, but I want to see how smooth your eyes can move. Good. Now for saccadic movements, the ability to jump back and forth. We've got our red objects here. Would you mind looking at the left one, the right one? Left, right, left, right, left, right. And just jump back and forth. And keep going while I just make sure your eyes can jump back and forth just fine. Okay, and go ahead and stop. Now, a couple more things here. I want to check your vestibular ocular reflex. So I am going to be moving your head back and forth. What this is going to look like is I am going to have you focus on my nose. I'm going to look at your nose. I should be able to keep my eyes focused on your nose even when I'm moving back and forth, even if I move quite rapidly. So that's what we're going to check. We're going to make sure that you can stay on this fixed target while I move your head slowly and quick, quick, quick. Okay, so I'm going to take your head here. I'm going to be very gentle with it. Okay, so keep your eyes on my nose. We're going to just bring you this way and this way. We're going to do just some smooth movements here. Good. And then I'm going to do a quick one, okay? Alright. Okay, just like that. And that was just fine. That was just fine. Last thing. We talked about the fundoscopy. We talked about the fundus of the eye. Let's go ahead and just look a little closer at that so that I can show you what we're looking at, what I'm looking for. So this little area is what we're going to be looking at. So we had said this mirrors this area. We have the optic disc, the optic nerve right in here. We have the macula, which is this lighter orange area, which would be this area. The fovea, which is this little dip right here. And the blood vessels. So I want to be looking at the health of the blood vessels. We want to look at the optic disc. We want to see if there's any issues with the macula at all, if there are any issues with the blood vessels in terms of like bleeding, hemorrhage, for example. So ideally, this is what the back of your eye is going to look like for the most part, and then the other eye will be mirrored. So the fundoscopy is performed with an ophthalmoscope, and the ophthalmoscope here, I have a little dial so that I can zoom into your eyes, the little lens here. I have a light, the little rest for my eyebrow, and the lens right there. So first I'm going to look for the red light reflex. When I shine the light in your eyes, there should be a red to orange light that comes back. If you've seen old photographs from the 2000s or earlier, people used to have red eyes in those photographs unless you got them edited, and that would be that effect. And then I'm going to look around at the back of your eye. So I'm going to put my dial on 0 to start here, and I'm going to put my hand on top of your head just so that I know where I'm at in space, so that I don't accidentally bump into you. And, oh, I just had it. There we are. I'm going to come in real close. If you could just look to the side so that I can look at the back of the eye. So, there's our blood vessels. There's our disc, macula. Color looks good. Doesn't look like there's any issues with the vessels or any sort of lesions. Okay, would you mind looking into the light? Okay, good. Alright. We'll switch to the other side. So, let's just grab that. Oh, I just had it. There we are. and bobs. Maybe kind of see the fovea a bit. Just that little sunspot. And can you look into the light here? There we go. Good. Okay. Fogged up my glasses quite a bit there. So, that is going to conclude our eye examination. So that fundoscopy looked great. Let's see, your visual acuity is great. You can see numbers just fine. Amsler Grid was alright. Let's see your near vision, visual fields, blind spot, retina. Everybody is just fine. So, do you have any questions for me? Okay, very good. Let me just sign off here. And that will conclude our examination. I'd like to thank you so much for coming in today and participating in all of these little tests. You were an awesome patient to have. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon, without which I wouldn't be able to make these videos. If you'd like to help support the channel and get access to perks like ad-free videos, early access to public releases, Patreon exclusive videos, to audio downloads of all my content, there's a link in the description box to my Patreon. I hope you have a whale of a day.